Yo, what is up, everybody? It's Peace. Welcome to another video. So, today I'm here with my inspiration for this awesome FTK strategy to show you how I took it to locals and went X1. It was only 4 rounds, though, because of the way that the pairings ended up working, and I got 5th place, but we topped, baby! So yeah, this is Superheavy Samurai Snake Eyes FTK. As you guys saw in the title, watch the matches. They were on the channel the other day. I think I posted 2 matches one day, and then the next day I posted another 2 matches. So make sure you go and check those out. This deck was hilarious. I used a hypergeometric calculator to build this deck and make sure that it was consistent enough. Obviously, if you don't get the full FTK, you just go full Snake Eyes combo, which is cute and everything, but you have roughly a 45% chance to open the FTK, and I resolved it 2 or 3 times within a 4-round tournament, which was insane. So yeah, really cool deck, really cool deck. If you want more detail about it, I could give you that, but probably in a separate video. I just want to get the deck profile out there. I think I clipped part of the stream that me and chat built this deck with, which shows you the combo and stuff. But I'll explain the cards a little bit. And if you're interested in the strategy, you're toxic, number 1. And number 2, I will definitely be able to help you with how to do it if you wanted to test it out. All right. So as you guys know, long viewers of the channel know that I'm very spicy, and my deck lists are always crazy. People at my locals, they see me rolling up with a deck that has 2 engines or more that don't normally mesh well with each other, and they say, oh, that's a Peace-Eye deck. Well, here is another Peace-Eye creation. I decided to play Superheavy Samurai engine to make the Snake Eyes strategy more consistent, and I decided that I don't want my opponent to play. I want to just win on turn 0. So, here's the deck list. So, first up is the Superheavy Samurai engine, 3 Superheavy Samurai Motorbike, 3 Wakaushi, 1 Samurai Monk Big Benkai, and 1 Super Heavy Samurai Soul Gaia Booster. So this is the 8-card package that you got to play. Thank you, Konami Overlords, for reprinting these in the 2024 Megatins. Dueling Mirrors, I believe it was called. But yeah, so these cards used to be a little bit more expensive. These were supers, these were commons, but they all got upgrades. Well, except for this guy, the brick. But yeah, it's a really cool package. So what this allows you to do is either make a level 8 synchro with 1 card and set up your scales, low scale being 1 and high scale being 8, so you could pendulum summon 2 through 7. Or you can make a rank 4 and then just have this sitting in your scale. But we went over those combos in the video. But yeah, so that's the 8-card Super Heavy Samurai package. So essentially you're playing each one of these, since it can make a rank 4, gets you to your Banshee, and it gets you into your Snake Eyes monster. And this doesn't take your normal summon. It's literally just a spell activation, 1 special summon, a search, an equip, and a special. So like you only do 5 actions and you have 2 monsters on board with just 1 search. Very, very powerful. All right. So next up is basically the rest of the deck, which is like the Snake Eyes engine. So we played 3 Black Witch, 3 Diabolstar. You gotta see this card. This is the portion that gets you your Jet Synchron, which you do need for the FTK. And then the Snake Eyes monsters, you got your Snake Eye Ash, your Snake Eyes Poplar. I decided to go with 2 Oak. I cut 1 at the very last second because I wanted to play 45 cards. Yeah. And then I ended up adding 3 cards like last minute. I think it was Prosperity and then a special card that's at the end of the deck list. But yeah. Snake Eyes Oak. I did opt to play the Birch. If you draw the Poplar, you want to be able to search something that you can get out of your hand. So I do think Birch is correct, and it gives you a name in your hand, in your deck for the grind game. You can always put back something from your engine, like a Flamberge or something, if you can't access Princess anymore, and you can actually search this off of the original Sinful Spoils. So I like this because they limited both of these. You don't have nearly as many names as you used to have, so you have to compensate that for that in a different way. So I did opt to play the Snake Eyes Birch. And for the full FTK with the bare bones minimum, you do need 2 dragons in your graveyard for a special extra deck monster. So we do play 2 Flamberge. It's not really a brick per se. I mean, it would be better if this was an engine card that you can actually push more with, but unfortunately, you got to play the 2 because there's no other way to get that extra 200 damage at the end of the combo. Honorary Snake Eyes card, Jet Synchron. Like I said, you need this for the combo. It's a machine, which is very important. It's a level 1 fire, which is important. And it can bring itself back from graveyard, which is another very crucial part of this card. But if you want to see the combo, the video is already up. Comment down below, and I'll just put the link to it so you don't have to search. Next up, the extenders and consistency cards. 1-for-1. So with certain hands, you can still FTK with 1-for-1, but generally, you need to be going up against a deck like Pendulum or Drytron that plays like 0 hand traps. Shout out to fan favorite Jesse. I got to FTK him going first turns, game 1. But yeah, so 1-for-1 can just bring out any missing piece that you need, but you do have to send a monster from your hand to the graveyard, which stinks. So you need some way to +1 so that you have enough cards to FTK. 3 Bonfire. Ooh, I actually pulled another secret rare Bonfire in my prize pack the other day, so I'm going to actually upgrade one of these to secret. Cool. All right. Consistency. And then we do play the 3 wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils. To wrap that package off, we do have the 1 original and the 1 Divine Temple. So, as I mentioned, to increase consistency, I did add a Pot of Prosperity. You're not going to FTK every single time. Obviously, if you Pot of Prosperity, you're not going to get 16,000 damage. This is not Tempai. But this can help you dig for side cards going into games 2 and 3. And it's also very good if you brick and you need to play. This lets you see the top 6 cards of your deck. You obviously banish the FTK portion because you're not going to resolve that, which is great. It is a very easy banish for that. But yeah, if you see this and you have full combo, you can start to go full combo. If you get hand trapped, then you can dig for an extender. It's really good still. Next up, another extender I decided to play is Monster Reborn. You just want to see spells in your hand because you do need to set one as part of the FTK to have enough damage on board to actually kill your opponent. So Monster Reborn is just generically good. It can just bring back something that you need. If you link off something and you just bring it back, and then you can use its effect if it got impermed, for example. Next up, hand traps. 1 Nibiru the Primal Being. Triple Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. This can hit those pesky Mulch Charmy cards. Jeez. 1 Ghost Ogre. Triple Effect Veiler. This is just a great non-once per turn spellcaster monster that synergizes with something in the extra deck. But yeah, it's super convenient. And then 1 Droll and Lockbird. Finally, 1 Forbidden, or Infinite Impermanence. What am I talking about? I almost said Forbidden Droplet. But yeah, so this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 hand traps in the main. Pretty strong, 10 hand traps in 48. Actually, no, that could be way better. But we're mainly not even playing them to stop our opponent. We're playing them so that our opponent doesn't stop us from FTKing them. So 3 Crossout Designator, really useful. Called by the Grave is also included, as well as the defensive card Triple Tactics Talents. And then the last 2 cards that I ended up adding, I just added 2 Fenrir. I just wanted more going second options and just board presence, but I actually ended up bricking on this round 1 of the tournament against a Goblin Biker duelist. So make sure you go check out that video. That was my only loss that day, and it was round 1. Very upsetting. I believe it's 48, but it could also be 47. All right, so next up, I'll just go through the extra deck. So we do have the Blaze Phoenix. This is how you're burning your opponent. It counts every card on the field and does 300 burn damage soft once per turn. You're bringing this back with Zealantis and Princess in order to proc it 3 times. And then there's another card at the end that will get the last 200 damage for you. Cyframe Lord Omega. So this is part of the Super Heavy Samurai package. If you already have full Snake Eyes combo, what you can do is make a Cyframe Lord Omega. If you're confident that you can make that push, and then you have your scale set up so you can actually Pendulum Summon your Black Witch, which reduces the card advantage that you're actually losing out on, and also rips a card out of your opponent's hand, which could potentially be a hand trap. But I mean, It's a good part of your end board that you can have. It's an option that you could pivot towards if you really want to, because you can also make this with Jet Synchron and a Fenrir or a Black Witch. So it's not just a one-trick pony. There's multiple different ways that you can summon this, and it's a very strong card with 3 very powerful effects. Next up is the Infernal Flame Banshee that I told you guys about. So Super Heavy Samurai package makes this for free. You can either search Snake Eyes Ash, or if you've already used your normal summon for some reason in the turn, you can search Poplar and just special summon it, which is really broken. Next, the rest of the extra deck is Link monsters. So we have 3 non-Link monsters, and the rest is 12 Link monsters. All right, Relinquished Anima, rest in peace to Link Haribo. Proxy F Magician. So this is how you're making your Blaze Phoenix. You're using, usually, I believe it's a Snake Eyes Poplar and your Jet Synchron to fuse into it, because it needs 1 machine and 1 pyro monster to make the Blaze Phoenix. And this just says polymerization on the field. This got Herald of Herald of Orange Lighted, so it got negated and destroyed. But luckily I had enough bodies to make a Link 4 that I'll show you later in the extra deck that won me the game, which is amazing. Shout out to Zelda Hat Tim. Next up, you're just playing the generic good stuff. So I decided to go for Hida in the main deck. Really powerful. People are usually ashing you, and then you can go into Princess and like actually play. The Snake Eyes engine is just so strong if you actually open Ash. Nightmare Phoenix, just another generic fire that can help you break boards. IP and SP. So the Colon P package is insane. Shout out to Team Bad Cards. This is the payoff for when you go regular Snake Eyes combo. You put this in the Spell and Trap zone, you summon it, and then you can summon SP Little Knight. Broken interaction, very layered. Next up, so this is what I was opting to play 3 Effect Veiler for. This is really good for reborning your Black Witch from your graveyard or your hand, or your Effect Veiler from your graveyard or hand onto the field in defense position. Very easy to climb up into it as well, because we have the Spellcaster Anima, the Spellcaster Hida, and then multiple main deck Spellcasters. So this is also really good for climbing into another Link 4 that we're playing, and since it's a light, we get an extra awesome ability that you can use with that extra deck monster. The last Link 3 is Promethean Princess. This is just mandatory, obviously. This makes the deck. Without this card, this deck is booty. I've tried it before without this card. But then once it got the reprint, I started cooking like crazy, and here we are. Next up, the monster I was talking about is Access Code Talker. You'll have a light in the grave, you'll have a fire, you'll have a dark. You can just pop their whole field, and then ba-bam, 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 kill them. World Sea Dragon Zealantis. This card is crazy. This helps you to FTK because of Zealantis' ability to be a soft once per turn. So you banish it, bring it back, use it again. Awesome. And then you have your Amble Whale. You needed a generic Link 4 fire in order to link off your Princess, and then make the Zealantis. Finally, the Link 4 that I was talking about that you need dragons for. On summon, Agave Dragon says, apply all of these following effects based on the number of these types of monsters you have in your graveyard. We don't care about anything else but the dragon one. The dragon one says for every dragon, burn your opponent for 100 damage each. So you have your 2 Flambergers in the graveyard, so you burn them for 200 to wrap it up. Really cool. So everything is just mandatory in this extra deck. And there's not really room for defensive options, but there's only 3 cards that you use for the FTK. It's the Blaze Phoenix, the Agave Dragon, and the Proxy F Magician. So it's very easy if you're going second and you know you're definitely not going to get a chance to FTK, to side all that out and put in 3 other cards. So, Dark the Dark Charmer is just very good against strategies, especially the Mirror, where you know your opponent's going to have a Black Witch. Or anything that has dark boss monsters. Even as Amina, you can bring back their Silva and use their negate against them, and then continue comboing off with your dark. This is just very good going second, and I wanted it somewhere on my deck list. If I'm not trying to go for the FTK like going second, you put this in, and it becomes a more standard strategy. Now, to go off the deep end, I also played Baguska. Because of the Super Heavy Samurai package, if you're going up against a shifter deck, it would be very wise to put this in, because Baguska poops on every shifter deck ever printed. I don't know why, it just makes sense. Kashtira, Fluandereeze, probably Mutants, although that's very obscure, and I think I only know one person that's ever played Mutants, and it was Faisal. ritual beasts, more importantly. So, yeah, this just poops on them. And then finally, for those shifter decks as well, like, you really need to protect yourself and be able to go to the next turn. So making Kiki Nagashi Fucho with your Snake Eyes monsters is very useful, and it can guarantee that you survive into the next turn to be able to play. If you can play Kiki Nagashi Fucho, you should play it. I wanted it somewhere on my list. And then the last 12 cards in the extra deck. Well, Charming Perulia. It could be a cross-out target. I only pulled one with my son for my prize packs from the other month. But I actually already just sold this card earlier today for $73. Shout out to John. But yeah, so I no longer have this card. Speaking of water monsters, 3 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. Some people play this at locals. It's to play around Tenpai and then other FTKs. You can use this as a cross-out designator target, or if you're going up against an FTK and you're going into game 3, you want a chance to actually win, so you definitely side these 3 in. I put all 3 of these in the final round against Zelda Hat Tim. I didn't see any of them, but I was able to utilize my extra deck to kill him. Like I said, he negated and destroyed the Proxy F Magician, so I couldn't bring my Blaze Phoenix. And I brought out my Agave Dragon and burned him for 100 life points. So make sure you go back and check out that duel. We were in time for like 5 minutes. It was a 50-minute duel. Crazy. But it was worth the watch. Sorry, spoiler alert. But anyway, he was actually messaging me today. I have to bring this up. I'm sorry, Tim. But he's like, I didn't expect you to be playing 2 time cards. These are not time cards. I'm FTKing you. All right. Next up, the spells. I played 2 Thrust and 1 Harpy's Valley Duster. Thrust is really good to search the rest of the traps that I have, but also Harpy's Valley Duster, Bonfire going second. I mean, there's a ton of things that you can just add to your hand. Thrust is just generically good. I opted to play 1 evenly. I wanted to play 3, but there's just not enough room in my brain to play that many. But I guess I could cut, well, I'm not going to have this anymore. I could probably cut the Fucho and then 1 of these or something to play more evenly, maybe some droplets or something. But 1 evenly as a search target, 1 dimensional barrier as a search target. I hate Tenpai. 1 destructive Daruma Cannon. And then for the continuous spells, you gotta play Skill Drain Anti-Spell. Like, these are insane. I got to kill Drytron with this. But yeah, you can still, on the crackback, take your Oak or your Ash, and then send these to grave as cost, and turn them off for your turn, and then OTK them with Zelantis. I've never owned the the Raging Phoenix, so I've never gotten to do that. But with just 1 Snake Eyes Ash, you actually get the Zelantis to bring back the Princess, popping your Poplar, and you still have Flamberge on the field, which is over 8,000, and then you use the effect of Zelantis to pop their last 2 cards. So you can OTK, it's just you're not going to have the Raging Phoenix with 5,800 attack to help you do it. So that was the deck profile. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you check out the other videos that I posted on this if you're interested in this type of strategy, because I do go more in depth on it in those videos. And yeah, I can't believe this video is 18 minutes long. Don't be angry, buddy. Don't be angry. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Check out those duels. Like, if you're into this at all, check out those duels. You will not be disappointed. Subscribe for more. See you guys in the next one. Yes. All right, bye, guys.